I'm Greg with Little Wars TV, bringing you the Cold Wars 2020 convention recap. And just as you would expect, there are some fantastic looking games on display here today at the convention. But before we get into showing you some of my favorite games, I think we have to address the dark shadow that's sort of looming over this entire convention, and that of course would be the coronavirus. The typically long lines at the registration desk are virtually non-existent, and attendance at this convention would appear to be at less than half of what it normally is. There's a very long list of canceled games on the board, which means a lot of GMs decided not to show up. And that applies to our club as well. A lot of guys decided to cancel on Cold Wars this year. Only a couple of us made it. The national news cycle is moving very, very fast, and fears of this virus spreading are definitely real. Now, I will say one of the perverse advantages to so many games being canceled is that the games that still are being run are generally very full because there are still a lot of players here who are looking for games to jump into. And I want to talk about a couple of the real standouts that I saw here on Saturday. There were a couple of fantastic Carnage and Glory games going on. These were 28mm Napoleonic battles, stunning miniatures on big, beautiful tables with really sharp-looking terrain. It was also very nice to see that the Hawks room was completely full. They had lots of great games going on, many of them friendly for kids. There was a really neat Gaslight American Civil War scenario being played. But now I want to get to two of my absolute favorite games today. One of them, the Battle of Kasserine Pass. And I had to go by this table twice just to try and squint and see what the scale was. I thought at first it was being played in 6mm. It's actually being played in 3mm scale. The GM for this game is Bruce Weigel, and Bruce is legendary around the convention circuit for having the most incredible micro-scale terrain boards. This Kasserine Pass table was absolutely fantastic. It looked like he had taken a Google Earth image and maybe modified it, and then printed that out onto fabric and overlaid it over a topographical table. The net result of that is just really stunning to look at. This is, I think, a terrain method that I'm excited to experiment with in our club and see if we can replicate some of that. My other top contender for today that I have to mention is a 54mm Battle of Khartoum. This was in the Hawks room, run by Bill Molyneux, and luckily I had a chance to speak with him between two of his game sessions.
Well, good morning everyone out there in Little Wars TV land. I am running a 54mm game in the Battle of Khartoum in Omdurman. And what's interesting with 54mm is we have over 1,000 figures on our table, which is stunning. That's why we have over a 12-foot wide table. Otherwise we couldn't fit them all on there. The interesting thing of using 54mm, it is going back to the history of miniature wargaming with H.G. Wells. So when you see a table as large as ours, it's sort of unique. So I hope you'll consider looking at 54mm figures in the future for your wargaming. Anyhow, I think that's it for me from Cold Wars. Thank you everyone, and stay safe.
Well guys, I think that's a wrap for Cold Wars 2020. Sorry for a little bit of a truncated recap here, but maybe that's just a sign of the times, given the unusual state of the convention. Hopefully by the time Historicon rolls around this summer, the coronavirus pandemic will have tamped down and we'll all be in a better place. Until then, we hope that all of our friends in the wargaming community exercise good judgment and stay safe. We are very fortunate here at Little Wars TV that half of our viewership is outside the United States, particularly in Europe. So to all of our friends overseas, especially those in Italy, our thoughts are with you.